know I don't get paid enough to get screamed at by you over a penny. I used to work retail, and with that comes a lot of, you know, stupidly interesting stories. It's usually all like really small things that were blown way out of proportion. Just a little side note before I start, we used to get a lot of like Canadian shoppers at the store I worked at, so we'd have like some Canadian change like mixed in sometimes on accident. So keep that in mind. I get this big family in my line. They're also from Canada, coincidentally. Doing my job, I cash out the woman, I give her her change. Her change ended up being like 3 pennies. Not even exaggerating, it was actually 3 pennies. So I get the pennies out of my drawer and I give them to her and I say, have a nice day. She's looking at her receipt. She like goes off to the side for a minute and she's like looking at everything. Cashing out her husband, she stomps back up to my register, literally stomps. And she looks at me and she goes, no, you gave me a Canadian penny. I'm like, oh, I did? I'm so sorry. Like, I can switch it out for you. She's like, no. You gave me a Canadian penny. You shouldn't be doing that. You need to do better at your job. You need to be paying attention to the change you give people. She was so passionate about this penny. So passionate. I'm like, okay, like, let me switch it out. She's like, yeah, you're gonna switch it out. You're gonna give me my penny. I'm like, sure, yeah, like I just offered. So I go in my drawer as she's still screaming at me. She's screaming so loud that heads are turning, by the way. Customers are looking around like, okay, like what's going on? I'm like, I don't know, I'm 15 just getting screamed at by a lady about a penny, but you know, inspect them all before I hand them to her again so I don't get screamed at a second time. I'm like, here you go, ma'am, have a nice day. You know, the fake little customer service smile that you have to do. She's like looking me up and down still. She's still like mumbling things under her breath and I'm just like, okay, like it's not that deep. It is a penny. I finished cashing out her husband. I'm cashing out like one of her sons now. I scan what he has. The whole time she is glaring at me from across the room like this. You gave me the wrong penny. Hello? Calm down. Let's reevaluate what's important in life for a sec, okay? Her son's buying like a pair of shoes. I end up scanning those and the coupon that he was trying to use on them, don't even get me started on the coupon. He's like not grasping the fact that like he can't use the coupon. He's like, oh, okay. Why is the price not going down? I'm like, oh, well, actually, item you bought was excluded, so you can't use the coupon on this. He's like, oh, okay. So why is it not going down? I just told you 6 times! My manager had already heard the lady like screaming at me. So she's kind of like lurking at this point. I end up turning around to like ask her for help. I'm like, hey, so this guy isn't really grasping the fact that I've told him 6 times that he can't use a coupon. Can you help me, please? And she like ends up talking to him and like finally makes him understand. She had to say it 10 times too. Not even exaggerating. My manager ends up just cashing out the rest of their family. But I guess this lady was screaming at me so bad and so noticeably that my manager was like, hey, like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, why? She's like, you should probably go take like a 5-minute break. I'm like, oh, it's okay. I don't need to go on my break yet. She's like, no, like you can just go take a 5. I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm like, oh, it's okay. I'm used to it. I cannot emphasize enough that it's never that deep, ever, especially in a clothing store.